Hello, today we're going to be talking about adding and subtracting integers. Much like what you've done for the last 6 years of math class, adding and subtracting numbers, what we're going to do now is add negatives into that, which creates integers. We're going to use the method called the box method. The standard that we're going to be using is going to be dealing with single signs, and students will have an understanding of the concepts of rational numbers and apply them to real-world situations. The part of this standard we're going to be concentrating on is adding and subtracting. There are two rules that go along with the box method that we're using. Rule 1, if the signs are the same, add and keep the same sign. The second rule, signs are different, subtract and keep the sign of the larger number. Let's read through those again. The first rule, if the signs are the same, add and keep the same sign. Rule 2, signs are different, subtract and keep the sign of the larger number. Let's look at some examples and how to use the box method. The first problem we have is -2 plus 6. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to box the first term, -2, and box the second term along with the operation of addition. So now instead of -2 plus 6, we have -2 and +6. The addition turns into a positive sign. So now we go back and look at our rules. Our first rule says if the signs are the same, we add. Well, in this case, our signs are not the same. We have a -2 and a +6. So they're different, which is rule 2. Signs are different, you subtract, and then keep the sign of the larger number. So in this case, since our signs are different, we must subtract. 6 minus 2 is 4, and then it says keep the sign of the larger number. So our 4 stays positive because the 6 is larger than 2 and the 6 is positive. So for number 1, our answer is +4. As we go through number 2, we have -8 plus 6. One box around -8, and our +6 now becomes +6. Again, our signs are different, so we look at rule 2, different, subtract. Well, 8 minus 6 is 2. And then we keep the sign of the larger number, which is 8 and is negative. So our answer ends up being -2. One more time for our addition problem. We put our box around -7, put our second box around +4, which makes it +4. And once again, our signs are different. We have a -7 and a +4. Since our signs are different, we subtract and get 3, and when we keep the sign of a larger number, which is 7, and it's negative, we end up with -3. Alright, let's look at some subtraction problems, and they're done the same way as the addition problems. Box up the -3, box up our -7. So now we have -3 and -4. In this case, our signs are the same. So we're using rule 1. Same signs, add. 3 plus 4 is 7. Keep the same sign. Since they're both negative, our answer is going to be negative. And we end up with -7. Moving on to number 5, we have 7 minus 10. Box up the 7. Box up the -10, which creates a -10. So now we have +7 and -10. And again, in this case, they're different. So we go to rule 2, different, subtract. So we get 10 minus 7 is 3. Keep the sign of the larger number. 10 is larger than 7. It's negative, so our answer ends up being -3. Alright, on the last one, we box up our -9, box up our -10, which makes it -10. So now we have -9 and negative 10. Since they're the same, we go to rule 1, same add, and get 19. Keep the same sign. Since they're both negative, our answer is negative. So we end up with a negative 19. All right, let's look at some more problems. On the next page, I'll give you a chance to work through these. Again, I'll put the rules up for you. Rule 1, if the signs are the same, add and keep the same sign. Rule 2, signs are different, subtract and keep the sign of the larger number. I also put some abbreviations for you so you can kind of say them to yourself as you work through these to help you memorize or understand these rules a little bit better. The first rule, same add, same signs add. Rule 2, different subtract, different signs subtract. So read through those as you work through them in the problems, and it will help you kind of get into a rhythm of if you're adding or subtracting when you're going through these problems. Also, what I want you to do on these practice problems is show your work. I want to see the boxes and see any other math that you do, whether you're lining them up to add them or subtract them. But I want to see the boxes. Make sure you're boxing it correctly. All right, I'm going to give you a couple minutes to work through these, and then we'll go over them. We'll show you the answers and show you how they're boxed. So go ahead, write these down and work through them. I'll give you a couple minutes. As you go through these, make sure you're boxing them up and saying to your head, same signs add, different signs subtract. We'll give you about 30 more seconds to work through these. All right, try to finish up. Give you a couple more seconds. Go ahead and make sure you have your boxes done. And get your answers down. All right, let's go ahead and look at the answers and the boxes to see if we've done them correctly. All right, here are our boxes. So check your boxes, see if you've boxed up your questions the same as I have them boxed. Look through those. Make any notes of what you might have done wrong or how that yours compare to mine so that we can go over that. And here are your answers. Go ahead and check your answers. And again, if there's anything that is different or you don't understand, make notes of it so we can go over it in class. Alright, hopefully everyone has done well on that. Let's go ahead and look at some more problems and do our ticket out the door. Go ahead and copy these down. I want you to show your work on these, box them up. Go through those rules, same, add, different, subtract. And that should do it for the lesson on single signed integers and the box method. Hopefully this was helpful, and we'll work through some more next time.